Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're gonna be checking out the Rework Toshi Sling. This is a 5-liter sling that was released in October of 2024. It was sold out for a long while right after it was released, and they just recently got stock back in as of June 2025. So check the link in the description below if you're interested in picking one up. But yeah, I would say there's about 9 features in here that I think are perfect, and 2 features that I think could be maybe a little bit improved. So let's go ahead and switch to the overhead camera and start unpacking this thing. So I've got it fully loaded out now, so we'll check it out as we go. All right, so here is the Toshi Sling. Now again, as I mentioned, this is a 5-liter bag, and dimensionally it's about 7 inches tall, 11 inches wide, and about 4 inches at its depth. And this bag does kind of taper out at the bottom, so it can accommodate some really large items, which we'll get into as we look in the interior. The exterior here is a Maipan Regen 420D recycled nylon. So this is all recycled material on the outside, which I really do appreciate. And then on the interior, which we'll get into, there's a 210D ripstop nylon, a nice gray material there. Weight-wise, this is a super light pack. Unloaded, it's about 360 grams, like less than a pound. So super lightweight. So depending on what you put in here, it's super easy and comfortable to carry. And then there are YKK zippers throughout. They're non-aqua guard, so there's kind of the standard YKK zipper with these kind of Hypalon pull tabs. And one of the other things that you may have noticed already is that this bag stands on its own because of this shape that it has, where it kind of opens up the bottom as you put heavier and bulkier things in the bottom. It kind of swallows those up, but that allows the self-standing, so that is really, really cool. So let's start with the strap. And the first feature that I really love here is that this strap is reversible and modular in a lot of different ways. So it's got these quick release, D-rings here, so you can remove this strap and attach it in any different configuration. So you can actually release this strap and actually reverse it. So this actually makes it ambidextrous. So something I talk about a lot on this channel is that I wear my sling bags over my right shoulder. And so if I'm wearing it on my front, where I want a quick release buckle is right here. And when a strap is not reversible, often that quick release buckle is back here somewhere. And so I love the fact that you can switch the configuration of this strap, and that instead of going with like a center quick release buckle, which I never understood because I don't ever want to release the bag while it's on my back and I can't control it. I always want to have it in the front and be able to do a quick release right here. And this bag allows you to do it no matter how you want to wear your bag. That's actually gonna be a theme throughout this review, is that Rework has really thought through how different people might want to utilize a bag and given you options in several different ways of how you can carry it, how you can use it, how you can pack it out. So that's pretty cool. Now going back to the strap, in addition to being able to just switch the strap around, you'll see there's actually 1, 2, 3, 4, and actually 5 and 6 attachment points if you want. So you can actually attach these straps down here, and you can have the sling wear in very different configurations depending on how you want to wear the bag, whether you want it to get kind of across your body or more horizontal across your body. It gives you a ton of flexibility and a ton of options. In terms of the strap here, it's just a nylon webbing. They do sell for about $10 a kind of a softer seatbelt material strap, so you could get that as an additional add-on. But yeah, it's just a simple nylon strap with a plastic buckle here, again keeping the weight down. Now let's jump into the pocket layout for a bit here, and we'll start with this front access pocket, which is hidden behind this little flap here, so it gives you a little bit of extra weather protection because you don't have those aqua guard zippers for this front pocket. So the zipper opens the whole way, and this pocket has its own independent volume, so it's not stealing from the interior. In here, you're just kind of getting a large, wide open space without much organization. So again, I have this loaded out, so I tend to put a couple pens. I've got a battery for a camera, spoiler alert on what's inside. I carry an SD card reader for that reason. I carry some earbuds. These are the Samsung Buds 3 Pro that I've been using recently. Some hand sanitizer. And then there's a key clip in here, which I have put my Rovivon Aurora A8 flashlight on. So I'll unclip that too. And that brings me to the second kind of game-changing feature here, is that this is actually a modular key clip. So this strap is actually just kind of looped on here, and it's looped through this piece of webbing. And in almost every pocket, I think there's a total of at least 4 different areas, I'll point them out as we go, pieces of this webbing that looks exactly like this, where you can actually attach this key clip. This, I think, is another really smart thing. Because I've reviewed a ton of bags where the key clip happens to be where I would otherwise, want to put my sunglasses. And like, that doesn't make much sense for me to put my keys, my sunglasses in the same pocket. So again, Rework thought of that. They put this simple key leash on a removable strap so you can put it anywhere you want. So again, I've chosen to put it here in the front access pocket. The next one up is actually this quick grab pocket, and you can put anything you want in here, but what I like about it is that it stays above. It's only about half as deep as the interior pocket goes down. So if you want to carry something like sunglasses, you can put that up here. This is not necessarily a microfiber or anything like that soft for sunglasses. This is, again, that 210D ripstop nylon, but it does keep it up and out of the way. So you could put things, if you need access to things like your earbuds. That's, I think a lot of people would use that pocket in this way. It just makes it super easy to grab those things at the top of the bag, so you're not trying to rifle through the main compartment for those quick access items. But again, I like that you can put sunglasses in here. I'm always a big fan of bags that allow you to carry sunglasses up and away, because I do carry a camera usually on my EDC. And so it's nice to have the glasses tucked out of the way of that. Now, jumping into the main compartment here, we'll move that aside. You can see that there is a ton of space in here. I mean, look at this, like how much this actually opens up. It opens up, maybe halfway around, but it gives you a ton of great access and visibility. There you can see the Toshi branding. As far as I understand, that is Japanese for city, and so that's a cool thing here. So in here, I do have a Fujifilm X100 I have a little pouch from Alpaca. This is like my little toiletry bag for my kind of EDC, medicines and things like that. I have this little packable tote, and then you've got these, you've got some internal dividers here. In the back one here, I have a little battery bank, and then I'm technically not using the rest of these. But something that I wanted to point out is that you've got a full height mesh stretch pocket here, 2 of these in the back. But then in front of that, you have this suspended loop. So if I stick something like my earbuds in there, it doesn't go all the way to the bottom of the bag. So when you're trying to get access to, let's say I wanted to put the camera battery and the earbuds there, those stay up and out of the way of the bottom of the bag. So if you had something like your camera in there, it actually floats right above those things. And again, so do like the sunglasses in the front grab pocket. So I'm a huge fan of this. They're allowing some really smart organization in here. If you just think through how you want to access this bag and what you want to pack in there, you kind of get layers from the bottom to the top where you can keep different things in separate pockets and have quick access to everything you need, and nothing is interfering with each other. So really, really ingenious design, I think, with these quick pockets, these little mesh pockets to keep things up and out of the way. And then you've got a more firm divider here that separates this back section where you can fit something like an iPad mini. This is a little Android version, a little 8-inch tablet, but that fits in there. And an Android mini or an e-reader would fit, or a notebook, a lot of things. And on the inside here, you can also see there's another one of those key leash attachments. So if you wanted to put that in there, you can. You do get some Rework branding here. That's another thing I love. If you hadn't noticed that, on the exterior, no branding. All the branding is on the interior. I love that. I don't want to be a walking billboard for companies when I'm walking around. So really appreciate the kind of stealthiness of this bag without having a ton of loud branding. Some other things that you can fit in here, because this is such a large space when you get it opened up. If you wanted to carry something like a water bottle, this is a small water bottle. I think it's like a 12-ounce metal water bottle, but you can see that fits in there without issue, and you still have plenty of room on top. It also fits something like a Nintendo Switch, or I have one of the ROG Allies here with a grip case on there, and that fits in there really, really well. It will not fit a Steam Deck, so if you are a gamer that likes bringing a Steam Deck around, it won't fit that, but it does fit the ROG Ally or Nintendo Switch, which is nice. And then one other thing to show here, if you are someone who likes to carry around bigger cameras, this is the Sony A7C II with the 20-70 millimeter lens on there, and you can see on a small full frame camera, which would be the same size as like any other APS-C cameras, that just fits no problem in there. It doesn't bulge out at all. It fits great, as you can see here. And then I've also got the A7S III, which would be the same size as like an A7 III or A7 IV or any of the A7R5 or A7R series. And you can see that that fits even. I've got a tripod clip on the bottom of that, and still it swallows it right up. So this bag can really hold quite a bit of camera gear in here. It's certainly not intended for that. There's not a lot of padding, but it definitely can do it. All right, and then the last pocket here is a kind of hidden or recessed pocket, but this is just kind of a nice wide open pocket. All I have in here right now is a little microfiber cloth to clean my glasses, clean my camera lens, whatever. Another attachment point back here if you want to keep something on that leash. So yeah, it's just a big kind of open pocket, no extra organization in there, but you could stash your phone, passport, key, wallet, whatever you want. Nice flat materials would go best in there. So that stays out of the way and pretty hidden. And in fact, on the note of hidden, that is where you will actually find, if you can see it here, a little hidden AirTag pocket. So again, just another smart feature that they've put in the bag on their first one out. They've just seemingly thought of everything, and everything they've ever wanted in a bag, they shoved it all in this pack, which I think is really great. The last couple things I wanted to point out, I did point out these side harness points or attachment points. So I usually use like a hero clip and put that on there, and then I have like a wall of water bottles or whatever that have a clip on the top, and I can clip a water bottle on there, which is cool. And then the last thing I wanted to point out here, you can see there's a couple attachment points back here, and you might have been thinking, what's that for? They're for a couple different things. So hidden away in here with a couple magnets, this is so genius. There are actually some compression straps. So you take those out, you buckle them on, and there you go. Now you've got a bag with external compression straps, and it's got some easy quick release buckles, and then it's easy to tighten. So this would be a great place to strap maybe a light jacket, an umbrella if you live in a rainy area, maybe a water bottle, maybe a tripod. Let me see. I've got this little tripod from Ulanzi, and you can see that would fit just perfectly down here. So if you wanted to use this as a little makeshift camera bag, you could definitely compress that down on there and have a little tripod on the bottom, your camera inside. It's really whatever you want. But again, the thing that I think makes this really, really smart is that you can remove them, and you didn't even see them the first part of this review because I had them stowed away down in that magnetic piece. So again, it's right down here. It's actually a huge area that they have, but you can store that in there, and then with those magnets it closes up so it keeps that clean exterior if you don't want to use those compression straps. I actually didn't talk about pricing yet. This bag in the US is $89, so I think that's a really good value for everything you're getting here. I think anything about sub $100 is pretty fair for a bag of this size. I have a hard time paying more than that for a bag like this, because then you're like in backpack territory when you're talking about that price. So $89 for this. There is the additional strap you can get for $10 if you want it, or a stabilizer strap also for $10, but otherwise everything that you've seen in this video here you get for that $89. So yeah, like I said, there is just a ton going on in this bag and a ton of features that I think are just super, super smart. I promise this is not a paid review or anything like that. I did reach out, and Rework did send me this bag. I asked for a sample so I could review, but this was actually a return from another customer. It's not like they chose a perfect sample or anything like that for me, so I do appreciate them sending it out, but no money changed hands. I'm just really, really impressed with this bag. I did mention there's a couple things that I don't like about it. So after all that praise, what are the things I don't like? One is that this external material is pretty thin, which makes it nice and malleable. Again, you can kind of conform to the things that you're carrying in it. But what that means is that the bottom here is really thin. It's just it's probably a couple layers of fabric here. So it doesn't feel great putting a camera like an X100VI, something that's pretty expensive down here. There's not a lot of protection down here. So if I was gonna use this with a more expensive camera like this, I probably would find some type of, you know, protector or just like a little piece of foam or something like that to put down. So when I'm setting the bag down, it just feels a little bit better. And then the other thing is, this is a strictly aesthetics point of view. I do like the exterior without the branding. I like that it's pretty stealthy. And the more I use it, the more I actually do like it. But my first impressions was I didn't love this front kind of flap when I was wearing it the first few times. It just wasn't my exact cup of tea in terms of the aesthetic. I like even a little simpler than this, but I can't complain too much. And as I've worn it more, this has kind of grown on me, and it does end up blending in, so not too bad at all. So that's it for this one. If you enjoyed this video, I'd really appreciate it if you can scroll down a bit and hit that like button and consider subscribing for more videos like this. Thanks again to Rework for sending me this out for review. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.